Honorable members, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I cordially welcome you all to the monsoon session of the Youth Parliament. Hope this session will be very fruitful as we sit out to deliberate the important matters concerning the nation. First item of the agenda is oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
The newly elected member has to take oath or affirmation. The newly elected member is Mr. Dharune, elected from Kollam constituency of Kerala. Mr. Dharune, please. Sir, do you like to take oath or affirmation? Oath, please. Which language do you like to take oath? English, please.
I, Darul A, having been elected as the member of the House of the People, do swear the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as well as establish that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Next item in the list of business is obituary reference. Honorable members, as we meet today, it is my duty to express my heartfelt condolence at the sad demise of SHRI JAWAHAR, former Union Minister and former BJP MP from Chamarajanagar constituency, Karnataka. He started his political career with the erstwhile Janata Party in 1976, later joining Congress, JDS and JDU before settling in BJP. Prasad Ji served as the Union Minister of the State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution in the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government from 1999 to 2004. A warm-hearted person, a passionate leader, an excellent orator and a true statesman whose demise has left the country with an irreparable vapor, marking the end of an era. My respectful homage to the departed soul.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I too share the feelings expressed by the Honorable Speaker. As we all know, SHRI JAWAHAR was a well-known figure in Indian politics. He was admired and inspired, revered across party line. Ma'am, SHRI Prasad was a well-known figure and he was such an outstanding parliamentarian, a powerful leader who had set high standard in every ministry, distinguished in every position he handled. Ma'am, SHRI Prasad had left a large void in our Indian politics, which is very difficult to fill back. A glorious chapter of our Indian politics has come to an end. Ma'am, on this occasion, I do pray for the departed leader. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय श्री श्रीनिवास प्रसाद मैसूर के दलित आवाज थे, पर क्या अस्तित्व और अस्मिता के प्रतिनिधि थे। अपने केंद्र हालांकि उनका राष्ट्रीय जीवन विवादों से घिरा रहा, लेकिन अपने व्यक्तिगत जीवन में उन्होंने सबको अपने साथ मिलाने का काम किया। अध्यक्ष महोदय, श्री श्रीनिवास प्रसाद का निधन सामाजिक न्याय के लिए लड़ने वाले राजनीतिक संघर्ष के लिए एक बड़ा झटका है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं समस्त विपक्षी दल की ओर से उस महान आत्मा को विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि समर्पित करती हूँ। ईश्वर उनकी आत्मा को शांति प्रदान करे और उनके दिखाए मार्ग पर हम चल सके, यही कामना करती हूँ।
The house may stand in silence for a while as a mark of respect to the departed soul. Secretary General may convey the message of condolence to the family of deceased and to the people of the nation.
Yes, madam.
Introduction of new ministers. Prime Minister, please.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I have great pleasure to introduce to you and through you the new ministers of Union Government. First of all, I would like to introduce Miss Kezia, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Ma'am, next I would like to introduce Miss Abdul Wakil, Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas. Madam, I hope with the introduction of these new ministers, the government will function more effectively. Thank you all.
Now we begin with the question number. Question number 101, Ms. Akshka.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to address a matter of grave concern that has shaken the foundation of our education system and has caused immense distress among youth and parents. This incident is not merely a breach of examination security. It's a betrayal of trust, a challenge to the integrity of entrance examinations. Honorable Speaker, NEET is a crucial entrance test with intense competition for admission of undergraduate medical courses in India. According to the National Testing Agency, about 23,32,977 candidates appeared for NEET 2024 compared to 20,87,468 in 2023. Every year, the number of NEET candidates has been increasing. As of July 19, 2024, there are 1,09,048 MBBS seats available in 707 medical colleges across India. Honorable Speaker, becoming a doctor is a dream for many young minds who study hard to achieve it. Unfortunately, the NEET UG 2024 has been marred by the accusation of malpractices, including balance paper leaks and dubious marking methods. Honorable Speaker, the integrity of the exam has been compromised. So, I would like to know from the Prime Minister, as well as the Education Minister, as to what steps the government has taken to investigate the leakage of NEET question paper. Also, what measures are being implemented to ensure the integrity of NEET examination process and prevent occurrence of such incidents in the future? Thank you.
Education Minister asked to reply. Honorable Speaker, Madam, I fully understand the gravity of the situation and the anxiety spread among the parents, students, and all others. Firstly, let me confirm that the government has taken this matter very seriously and a thorough investigation in this regard has been already started. Ensure the integrity and fairness of all national level examinations is the utmost priority of the government. We are committed to identify the individuals and groups were involved this month. Honorable Speaker Madam, the National Testing Agency has conducted over 240 examinations since its formation and over 50 lakh crore students appeared in the examinations conducted by the NTA. There is no evidence regarding any paper leaks in the last 7 years. Only one place here but now. Anomalies and malpractices have been found and the CBI is investigating this fact. Ma'am, may I inform the respected members of the House that this matter is sub judice the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Supplementary question to question number 101, Mr. SHRI JAWAHAR.
Honorable Speaker Madam, it's obvious to all that there is a very serious issue the country's examination system. The Education Minister is trying to hide matters concerning the nation's education system from the public. Madam, the government has done nothing to face this issue. Millions of young minds in the country are concerned about the examinations and their future. Honorable Speaker Madam, the NEET UG examinations conducted on May 5th have multiple complaints, such as awarding grade mark over 1,500 students.
Repeat session. Please ask a supplementary question.
Honorable Speaker Madam, I am coming to the question. My first question is, taking all allegations into consideration, does the government has any plan to reconduct the NEET UG examination 2024? Next, shouldering the responsibility of this grave issue, will the Education Minister consider resigning from her post?
Education Minister asked to clarify it.
Honorable Speaker Madam, there is nothing for the government to hide in this matter. There is nothing to indicate any drastic breach of confidentiality this parental examination conducted by the NTA. The Central Bureau of Investigation is investigating into the entire irregularities. Ma'am, as I already stated, this matter is subject to the Supreme Court and is ready to order the readers for NEET UG 2020. The opposition is trying to mislead the nation. They are questioning the young minds of the nation. Ma'am, may I inform the respective members of the House that the students from Kerala have also done well in the examination. I tried to state that malpractice was also there in Kerala.
Please maintain silence. No more supplementary question. Next, question number 102, Ms. Sana.
Honorable Ma'am, I would like to draw the attention of the government towards an important problem which has not been taken up. Speaker Ma'am, our farmers suffer huge losses due to natural calamities, be it hailstorm, heavy or scanty rain, drought, flood, or even damage by insects. Ma'am, in the existing laws, there is no provision to provide compensation for the losses suffered by them due to damage of their crops. Farmers do not get any compensatory support for this, which leads to decline in their financial condition and living standards. Hence, they are compelled to fall in debt. Ma'am, there is no legislation to write off their debt, and thus farmers have to face hard times. Honorable Ma'am, through you, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister of Agriculture whether she proposes to enact any legislation for providing compensation to farmers for the losses suffered by them due to damage of crops by these natural calamities. Thank you.
Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development asked to reply.
Honorable Speaker Madam, it is not that there is no provision for compensation for losses suffered due to natural
the agricultural growth rate has reached a stagnation point. It is because there is a decline in soil fertility due to waterlogging, salinity, and overuse of pesticides. I would like to know what steps are being taken by the government to stop this decline. Honorable Speaker Madam, if you pay attention towards it, you will see that if a factory owner does not repay the loan worth crores of rupees taken from the banks, his loan is written off. However, if a farmer takes a loan,
This is not a speech session. Please ask a supplementary question.
yes madam, I am coming to the question part. My question is, if a farmer does not repay his agricultural loan, he is sent to jail. Whether the Honorable Minister would like to state that if there is any plan under consideration to initiate similar punitive action against the factory owner at par with the farmers, this will resolve the injustice done to the farmers. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, please clarify.
Honorable Speaker, Ms. Dhamendra has raised many questions. The last question which she has asked is about the recovery of loan. I would like to remind the respected member through you that the Honorable Finance Minister has stated in his budget speech that farmers will not be arrested for the non-recovery of loans. Necessary directions are going to be issued in this regard in reserve banks, all nationalized banks, and other loan sanctioning institutions. Efforts are being made to simplify the process of lending and recovery and settlement of loans so that farmers may not be harassed. This government has already announced this policy and we will implement it. Thank you, madam.
Honorable Speaker Madam, the complaint related to my...
No, Miss Delamitra, I can't allow this.
Ma'am, but the main reason...
I know. The farmers' issue is a grave one, needing immediate intervention. But you can't ask the question in this manner.
Okay, madam.
Attention हो गया.
इस देश के करीब 12 लाख नगर किसानों से संबंधित एक समस्या आपके सामने रखना चाहती हूँ।
नहीं कृष्णेन्दु जी, आपको इसका अनुमति नहीं दिया जा सकता. हमें प्रश्नकाल को आगे बढ़ाना है. आप कृपया बैठिए. No more supplementary question. Next, question number 103, Ms. Aishwarya.
Honorable Speaker Madam, I rise to address a matter of utmost importance concerning India's foreign relation with its neighboring countries. India aspires to be a global leader and enhance its strategic influence. But lately, in the light of the strained relationship between India and Maldives, exacerbated by the recent action of President Muhammad Buhari, who is known for his pro-China stand, has raised concern regarding China's influence of expansion in the Indian Ocean region. Ma'am, my question in this regard is whether this government would provide insight into the historic goodwill and strong ties that India has maintained with its neighboring nation to safeguard our strategic interests over the years. Thank you.
Minister for External Affairs, would you like to take up that question? If yes, then please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, thank you for this crucial question regarding foreign relations with our neighboring countries. Allow me to shed light on both the historical context and present situation. India's rich tradition of maintaining strong and friendly ties with its neighboring countries is an ongoing engagement. Over the years, engaging in cultural exchanges, economic partnerships, and diplomatic dialogues. Our shared history, geographical proximity, and common interests have fostered goodwill and cooperation. However, unfortunately, the recent developments in Maldives have raised concerns straining our bilateral relations. But we recognize the
bonds. India remains steadfast in promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in our neighborhood and will continue to work towards shared goals. Thank you.
Supplementary question to question number 103. Mr. Dhiri, take it.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am. The question raised by Ms. Aishwarya is of utmost strategic importance and pertaining to safeguarding India's maritime interests and territorial integrity, and to counter potential threats from countries like China and Pakistan. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to point out that the respected Minister of External Affairs has failed to address the gravity of the fallout. He has falsely portrayed a colorful picture of India's relation with her immediate neighbors, downplaying the consequences of the forceful pullout of the Indian military from the Maldivian island country due to bullying of the
Mr.
Chinese.
Page, you have not come to your point yet. Please ask your relevant question. Otherwise, your time for putting up the question will be over.
Pardon me, Honorable Speaker, but the House would like to know what specific and concise steps have been taken in order to counter Chinese intrusion and intervention. Since the External Affairs Minister could not provide a satisfying answer, we would like to know from the Prime Minister, considering the strategic importance of this great matter. Thank you.
Will the Prime Minister be willing to answer that question? If yes, then please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, my government very well understand the strategic importance in the both Indian Ocean region as well as the necessity to collaborate the regional powers for counterbalancing China's presence and influence. With due respect, ma'am, allow me to elaborate concisely. The action steps undertaken and as an ongoing process to demonstrate India's commitment in safeguarding its interests. For demonstrating India's commitment, ma'am, India has significantly reduced its development aid to motives. In the Union Budget 2024-25, the allocation dropped from rupees 770 crores to rupees 400 crores this year. This reduction completely reflects the displeasure in the newly elected Maldivian president's approach and the pro-China stance. Ma'am, my Ministry of External Affairs is actively engaging with the Maldivian leadership. Yes, dialogue, mutual respect, and adherence to the international norms are emphasized to find a common ground for strengthening its historical background. Ma'am, India still continues to participate for strengthening its regional partnership through organizations like ASEAN, BIMSTEC, and East Policy Forum, which actively engage our neighboring countries for collectively addressing our regional issues as well as China's presence. Ma'am, these are but few. These are but few of many action strategies undertaken by my government for counterbalancing China's presence and aggression. Ma'am, let me assure the House through it. Under no circumstances, India's safety, security, and integrity be compromised. Ma'am, I hope this satisfies the opposition's query and apprehension. Dhanyavad.
No more supplementary question. Next, question number 104. Mr. Dhananjay Krishna.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, in the last 9 months, India has seen 3 major rail accidents. Please note, 3 major rail accidents. Odisha train collision in June 2023, killing nearly 300 people and over 1,200 injured. It's one of the deadliest train accidents in this decade. Gonda train accident in July 2024 led to the loss of 2 precious lives and injury to many others. Chandigarh-Dibrugarh Express derailment in the same month caused injuries and significant disruption. These incidents are stark reminders of the safety issues that continue to challenge the vast railway system that transport nearly 22 million passengers each day.
Yes.
My question is, does the government have any plan for comprehensive reforms and improved safety protocols to ensure the safety of the passengers and to prevent such devastating accidents in the future? Thank you.
Minister for Railway asked to reply.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt condolences to the families affected by the tragic rail accidents. Madam, I understand the gravity of these incidents, so the investigation of the Odisha rail accidents has already been handed over to the CBI. Madam, the government has been actively working on various fronts to enhance the safety and the overall efficiency of the railway networks. In response to the recent rail accidents, the government is taking various initiatives and reforms. Madam, the government has been investing significantly in modernizing the railway infrastructure, including tracks, signaling systems, and rolling stock. The government has already implemented strict protocols, including regular inspections, maintenance check, and upgradation of safety standards. Honorable Speaker, Madam, the safety of every individual who travels by train is the utmost priority of this government. Thank you.
Supplementary question to person number 104. Ms. Mahida Goban.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me an opportunity to raise a question on this serious issue. Indian Railway carries 22 million passengers daily. In the wake of the recent rail accidents, train journey have become a nightmare to Indians. The Honorable Railway Minister is still claiming that they have invested significantly in Indian Railway. What a joke, madam. If it is true, why are these safety issues happening?
Honorable Minister.
Speaker ma'am, allow me please to complete my question, ma'am.
Okay, continue, but please make it precise.
Ma'am, the anti-collision device is already proven to be effective in preventing the collision of trains. Unfortunately, the government of India has no interest to roll out the anti-collision system in the national level. Ma'am, these incidents would have not happened if there was coverage in these routes. My question is, why has the implementation of anti-collision system been delayed? Thank you.
Honorable Minister asked to reply.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, these incidents have nothing to do with the coverage. This is an entirely different issue. The cause was the change that occurred during electronic interlocking. Whoever did it and how it happened will be found out after investigation. So, I request the honorable member not to reach to any conclusion without any substantial evidences. Remember, the parliament is not a place where one can argue with their own assumptions and beliefs. Now, I am coming to the question of the anti-collision device. Madam, the coverage is being implemented on the highly used network routes. We have already signed contracts to implement coverage on the Delhi-Mumbai and Delhi-Kolkata routes. And tenders are being processed to implement coverage on the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus in Mumbai to Howrah station in Kolkata. Madam, even the Supreme Court has appreciated the efforts of the Indian Railways. Thank you.
No more supplementary question.
Miss Hadra.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak. Sir, I would like to share to you some serious concerns of the non-resident Indian communities, the NRIs. The NRIs are facing significant challenges, especially regarding the high airline ticket prices. At normal time, the tickets available are priced in the range of rupees 5,000 to rupees 6,000. But during peak travel season, it exorbitantly goes up to rupees 50,000 to rupees 80,000. This makes it nearly impossible, sir. Impossible for a family of 4 to afford travel, particularly during emergencies, like during the passing away of a family member. This is indeed a very sad and unacceptable situation, as the NRIs are treated like people deported from their country. The government must engage with the airline companies to understand their price strategies and regulate the fare hikes during peak seasons, or provide subsidies for NRIs traveling during emergencies. Sir, the NRIs are vital contributors of our nation, and they should not be abandoned from their homeland. Thank you, sir.
Next, Miss Nivedya.
Thank you, sir. My matter of concern for the attention of the House to a grievous situation affecting the lives of people from Kerala. Sir, there is an alarming rise in the intrusion of wild animals into our habitat, resulting in fatal human-animal conflicts, which includes tigers, elephants, and wild boars. Sir, look at our situation. We are fighting against animals every day. Sir, last year alone, these conflicts claimed 100 lives. 100 lives with more than 10 fatalities already been reported. Especially in the Wayanad district, where 4 people have been killed and agricultural plantations have been totally destroyed. Sir, hence the government of Kerala has declared human-animal conflict as a state-level disaster. Sir, don't think that this is not a unique case of Kerala alone. Sir, I have data with me, sir. The national data also reveals similar figures. Similar figures of animal attacks with nearly 1,625 people losing their lives to animal attacks between 2019 and 2022. Sir, no, this happens not in a long period of time, only in a short period of time. Sir, we are not against animals. We love animals, we care animals, and we take care of it. But sir, human life is also important, if not more. So I request a proactive action from the government to address this issue. Thank you.
Miss Dakshinasri.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, a serious issue currently facing in our country is the large-scale migration of Indian students to other countries for higher education. As per the data shared by the Union Minister of Education in Lok Sabha in February, 30.13 lakh students have gone abroad for higher studies since 2017. In 2023 alone, 7.5 lakh students left. Sir, a 69% increase as compared to 2022 and a 28% rise from the pre-pandemic figure in 2019. It's really unfortunate that many students are planning to move abroad as early as their secondary education years. Sir, in Kerala and Andhra, this trend is quite alarming. Unlike in past year, the recent trend shows that the students who move abroad are increasingly reluctant to return to India and inclined to settle there. Sir, we cannot stop this trend without improving our higher education sector. If you look under top university in the world, not a single university from India is on the list. Sir, the allocation of the fund to the education is very low as compared to other developing nations. I
Australia. The leader of the parliamentary delegation is Mr. Peter Harry. He is the Speaker of the House of Commons in Australia. I extend a warm welcome to you, Mr. Peter Harry. Next member of the delegation is Madam Jane Garrett. She is the leader of the Progressive Conservatives and the champion of the Labour movement in Australia. I extend a warm welcome to you, Madam Jane Garrett. The third member of the delegation is Mr. Milton John. Mr. Milton John is a renowned environmentalist. He represents the Green Party in Australia. I extend a warm welcome to you, Mr. Milton John. On behalf of the Indian Parliament and people of India, I extend a cordial welcome to you. I also hope that your stay in India will be beneficial for you and for your parliamentary democracy. Thank you. Miss Nikita Bajesh.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to bring to the notice of the House a serious breach of privilege committed by a prominent journalist and the editor of a renowned media house. The news channel has broadcast defamatory contents about many opposition members of the Parliament. Parliamentary privileges refer to the rights enjoyed by the Parliament as an institution with their MPs and individual capacity, without which we can't discharge our functions entrusted us upon by the Constitution. I hereby request you, Madam, to allow me to raise a question on that matter now.
Miss Nikita Bajesh has given notice of it earlier. You will the view notice along with a copy of the broadcasted video and I shall consider it. You cannot spring a surprise on me like this, Nikita.
Yes, Madam, I have already given the notice of it at 10 a.m. today.
It will be examined when it comes to me. I shall consider it and let you know my decision.
Thank you, Madam.
Secretary General, to lay the papers on the table.
The Honorable Minister of State and Industrial Affairs to lay papers on the table.
Madam, I beg to lay on the table a copy of each of the following notification in Hindi and English under the subsection 1 of section 28 of the Mines and Minerals Act 1957.
Madam, prior intimation of this information was not given. So, this matter will be discussed later.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, the House will take up the calling attention motion. Mr. Muhammad Alif, Ms. Krishna Priya and Mr. Kanish call the attention of the Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas and Minister of State of the same ministry. Mr. Muhammad Alif.
Honorable Speaker, the fuel price hike in the country has caused inconvenience and disappointment among the general public, who is forced to cut discretionary spendings like vacations, movies, shopping, traveling, etc. with more dependence on public transport and shared transportation. Fuel price hike has affected people owning a vehicle to think twice before using it, or even substitute their cars or two-wheeler with a bicycle. Madam, I would like to bring to the notice of the government that this is a very unhealthy situation, tearing apart the emotional and psychological fabric of our society. Why? Yes, due to the wrong policies followed by the government managing the oil prices in the country. So, is the government aware of this and doing enough to decrease excess duties on fuel, or remove that, or even bring the fuel price under the ambit of GST to improve the price situation in the country? Thank you.
Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas asked to speak.
Honorable Speaker, the government is well aware of the inconvenience caused to the general public due to the
Honorable Speaker, the government can no longer ignore the skyrocketing prices of fuel in the country and its effects. Various fuels like petrol, diesel and LPG have become an indispensable part of our daily life, and the rise in price of these items has caused inflation and exorbitant rise in everything we use, essentially upsetting the household budget and the moods of homemakers. Kerosene, a common fuel of the rural poor, has seen an increase in price every fortnight, thus affecting the common masses. The aviation fuel becoming costlier has prevented the labor force, especially in the Middle East, from visiting their motherlands. Evidently, the popularity of the ruling government has taken on a dent. What with oil companies and petroleum corporation ending freezing their price rise, thus having to bear the public outcry and backlash. I beg to call the attention of Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas in this regard. Thank you.
Mr. Tanishq, the next member is seeking clarification.
Honorable Speaker, the price of petrol and diesel always remain high in India in comparison with other countries. It causes discontent among the public. The government needs to tackle this rising price of fuel by decreasing the excise duties on it. In many parts of our country, rural poor people still depends on kerosene, as cooking gas is not affordable to them. The price of kerosene, the rural poor purchase from public distribution system, rose to rupees 25.3, which was rupees 15.2 in 2023. At the same period, the price of cooking gas has also rose to rupees 72.39 a cylinder. According to a newspaper report a week back on, the price of non-subsidized cooking gas has gone up by rupees 140 in past 5 months. If the government is not coming up with a plan to tackle this problem of rising price of fuel and solve the problems faced by the general public in our country, the government is going to face tough times in the upcoming days. Thank you.
Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, asked to speak.
Honorable Speaker, I think that my opposition colleagues are not aware of the recent incidents in the Middle East and Europe. Russia-Ukraine war and Israel-Palestine war adversely impacted the oil price in India. Oil price jumped to the highest level in the last week due to deteriorating the world scenario. And these incidents sparks the fears that escalating conflict in the region could disrupt oil supply, and thereby oil price increased in India too. Regarding the freezes on the oil price, as you all are well aware that the Indian retail price follow the last 15 days of international product price and move in tandem with the global crude oil price. As a measure to ease the burden of the rising oil price on the public, the government is planning to bring petrol and diesel price under the ambit of GST. But imposing the GST will not be possible until a general consensus is drawn by the GST Council. Honorable Speaker, the government is appealing to the public. The government is appealing to the public to use more and more public transport facilities in the country. Public transport facilities in the country rather than the dependence on private vehicles for traveling to routine places like office, markets, etc. I also request the public to switch over to bicycle for going to nearby places
Please maintain silence.
instead of using cars and two-wheelers for that purpose. As India surges with the renewable wave, there is a massive push to rooftop solars and solar parks replacing the diesel-based generation units. The government is also opting alternative fuels such as ethanol, biodiesel, CNG and electric vehicles. Thank you.
Secretary General to report the message from the upper chamber of the Youth Parliament.
I am hereby directed to report the following message received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament. In accordance with the rules of procedure and conduct of the business of the Upper Chamber, I am hereby directed to endorse the copy of the Illegal Migrants Bill 1988, which was passed by the upper chamber of Youth Parliament in its sitting on 16th August 2024.
I invite Minister for Labour to introduce the bill.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move for leave to introduce the bill to further amend the Employees General Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1982 and the Indian Penal Code. Thank you.
The question is that the leave be granted to the Minister for Labour to introduce the bill further to amend the Employees General Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1982 and the Indian Penal Code. Those who favor the bill may say aye. Aye. And those against may say no. No. I think that the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The leave is granted.
Honorable Speaker, I hereby introduce the bill to further amend the Employees General Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1982 and the Indian Penal Code. Thank you.
Now, the House will take up the Women's Reservation Bill 2024 for consideration. Minister of Law, please move the motion.
Honorable Speaker, Women's Reservation Bill 2024 is a lapse bill in the Parliament of India which is proposed to amend the Constitution of India to reserve 33% of all seats in the lower house of Parliament and in all state legislative assemblies for women. The bill will lead to gender equality in the Parliament, resulting in empowerment of women as a whole. Madam, the provision of reservation for women is only for 15 years. The idea of reservation is to create a level playing field so that women can raise their share in politics and society and thus look for equal status. Madam, the main causes of Women's Reservation Bill 2024 are clause number 1. The Constitution Amendment Bill 2024 reserves 1/3 of Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly seats for women. Second clause. 1/3 of the total number of seats is under clause 2 of Article 330. The existing quota for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes will be reserved for women belonging to SC and ST. Reservation of seats cease to exist or expire after 15 years of the commencement of the constitutional amendment. Next, one of the 2 seats reserved for Anglo-Indians will be reserved for women belonging to that community for the first 2 terms in a block of 3 elections. Madam, here I would like to reiterate that this Women's Reservation Bill 2024 seeks to empower women towards decision-making capacities and enhancement in the various domains of the political sphere. This bill is a move towards achieving that goal in the country. Thank you.
The motion is moved that the Women's Reservation Bill 2024 to be taken into consideration. Ms. Janin, asked to speak.
Honorable Speaker, this bill aims to provide reservation of 33% of seats in the legislative bodies of India to women. Madam, India is a land of various castes and subcastes, but there is no equality among these various castes. The so-called upper caste dominated the Indian society throughout its long history. The people of lower caste were highly oppressed, exploited, and discriminated. The women of these lower castes were victims of atrocities. They were denied all human rights. The condition of the women in these lower castes are really deplorable even now. Also, there is no demarcation between the women
the women of the upper structure of the Indian society and urban areas will dominate in those reserved seats. That means the women belonging to the marginalized sections and the rural areas will have no say in the legislation. So, I request the minister and the government to withdraw this bill and introduce a new bill in the parliament, including those provisions which ensures the upliftment of the women of the weaker sections too. Hence, I oppose the Moon bill in its present form and content. Thank you.
Mr. Akash, the Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment, asks to speak.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मेरे मित्र श्रीमती जेनिन भारतीय महिलाओं के बारे में बोलते हुए कुछ ज्यादा ही भावुक हो गई है। मैं अपने विपक्षी दल के साथियों से ये प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूँ कि इस देश में पहले आपकी सरकार थी, आपने तो ऐसा कानून नहीं बनाया था। इस साल हमारी सरकार ने 3.1 लाख करोड़ रुपए सिर्फ महिला शक्तिकरण योजनाओं के लिए रखा था। 10 साल पहले यानी 2014 में ये सिर्फ 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए था। भारत की बालिकाओं के लिए आज निरंतर स्कूलें खोले गए हैं। कस्तूरबा गांधी विद्यालय, जवाहर नवोदय विद्यालय, केंद्र विद्यालय जैसे विद्यालयों पर आज हमारी देश की बालिकाएं उच्च स्तर के विज्ञान प्राप्त कर रही है। भारत में 17 विश्वविद्यालय है और 4000 से भी अधिक कॉलेजेस सिर्फ महिलाओं के लिए है। शहरी क्षेत्रों में महिलाओं की बेरोजगारी 6.8% से 6.7% तक घट चुकी है। फीमेल लेबर फोर्स ऑफ इंडिया हमने 5 सालों में 15% तक बढ़ चुकी है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से अपने विपक्षी दल के साथियों को कुछ योजनाओं के बारे में बताना चाहता हूं जिसे हमारी सरकार ने नियोग किया है। महिला हेल्पलाइन नंबर 181, आपकी बेटी हमारी बेटी योजना, सक्षम आंगनवाड़ी और सुनिए प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा योजना से हमारी देश की महिलाओं को 40 करोड़ रुपए तक मिल चुके हैं। अध्यक्ष महोदय, लोकतंत्र हमारा स्वभाव है। हमारी सरकार ने महिलाओं को, चाहे वो एक बेटी हो, माँ हो, बहन हो या एक पत्नी हो, हमने उन्हें अपने पैरों में खड़ा होना सिखाया है। हमने उन्हें सपना देखना ही नहीं बल्कि सपने के पीछे उड़ने के लिए पंख भी दिए हैं। धन्यवाद।
Mr. Aditya, asks to speak.
Honorable Speaker, the Women Reservation Bill is a very dangerous idea and will change the Lok Sabha.
Please maintain silence.
The government had finished their designs and wanted to get it passed before the forthcoming general election. My party opposes the bill in its present form and wants a quota within quota for women from backward classes. The bill would deny adequate representation to other sections of society. Those who favor the Women Reservation Bill aims to appease and entice their voters. Their non-seriousness in women empowerment is indicated by the fact that within their own parties and organizations have not introduced the system yet. So, it is better to first create reservations for women in political parties than in the parliament. Thank you.
Ms. Kesia, the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, asks to speak.
Honorable Speaker, in India, there is strong evidence to indicate that where women are involved, there is better development. UN Women Research indicates that women-led panchayats had 62% higher drinking water projects than those led by men. Instead of indulging in the usual meaningless political giants, it would be in the best interest of the nation if all parties extend their support to pass the Women's Reservation Bill.
usually doesn't arise. We believe that women will get more chances if the concentration is of ability alone. Further, this women reservation bill will not lead to the political empowerment of women, since larger issues of electoral reform such as measures to check criminalization in politics, internal democracy in political parties, influence of black money, etc. have not been addressed. Also, this attempt for women reservation bill might lead to election proxies of female candidates, like husband of the female candidates, as it has already happened in many village councils and panchayats all across the country. So, madam, packing the parliament with election proxies of the female candidates will surely lead to the defeat of the spirit and purpose of the entire idea of this reservation. Also, ma'am, as one of my friends have already mentioned, this women reservation bill will only end by the empowerment of the elite women, leaving behind the women of lower caste and minorities. Who will stand up for them? They are part of our society too. So, madam, me myself and my party strongly oppose this bill.
Now, the Prime Minister will intervene in the debate.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, as the Minister of Law said in her introductory speech, that this Women Reservation Bill 2024, it's an attempt to give fair opportunity to the women of India. Certainly no society can claim to be a part of new, modern, civilized world unless they treat its women on par with its men. They should be given more opportunities and representation in the law-making process. Mahatma Gandhi and all other social reformers who had worked for the emancipation of the women had visualized a great role of women in the nation-building process. Hence, a radical piece of legislation in the shape of Women Reservation Bill is required to give new direction to the Indian politics.
Yes.
Ma'am, this movement for giving reservation to the women in the parliament and the state legislature is aiming for improvement in the women's socio-economic and political status in this country. Ma'am, I request the honorable members to extend their full support and cooperation in passing this bill. Dhanyavad.
Mr. Deep, ask to speak.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, यहाँ पर सिर्फ सत्तावर की वाहवाही हो रही है, पर मैं इसका एक दूसरा पहलू आपके सामने रखना चाहूँगा। कुछ ही दिन पहले कलकत्ता में एक युवा महिला डॉक्टर की निर्मम हत्या हुई। हाल ही में केरल के जस्टिस हेमा कमेटी ने फिल्म जगत में महिला उत्पीड़न की रिपोर्ट भी समर्पित की है। अध्यक्ष महोदया, पहले इस देश में स्त्री सुरक्षा पर सख्त से सख्त कानून बनाने चाहिए, ना कि ऐसे महिला आरक्षण बिल जो लोगों के आंखों में धूल झोंकता है। अध्यक्ष महोदया, इस देश की महिलाओं की वास्तविक छवि को धुंधला दिखाकर सत्तावर महिला आरक्षण बिल की आड़ में वोट बटोरने का सस्ता मार्ग अपना रहे हैं। अतः बिना गहरे विचार विमर्श के इस विधेयक का पारित करना उचित नहीं है। इसलिए हम सब इस विधेयक का सख्त विरोध करते हैं। धन्यवाद।
Minister of Law and Justice to please conclude the debate.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, विपक्षी दल की निराशाजनक बातें सुनकर मुझे बड़ा दुख हुआ। इस विधेयक महिलाओं की राजनीतिक एवं प्रशासनिक अधिकारों में मील का पत्थर साबित होगा, लेकिन हमारा विपक्षी दल के साथी नकारात्मक ऊर्जा से इसको तिरस्कार करने में जुटे हुए हैं। राजनीति में महिला आरक्षण का एक प्रथम प्रयास है। मूल तथ्यों पर विश्लेषण और संशोधन आगे भी संभव है। इस विधेयक का पारित होने से हमारे देश की महिलाओं की दशा और सुधरेगी। चांद और मंगल की यात्रा के सपने देखने वाले भारतीय महिलाओं को नए नए अवसर मिलेंगे। इसलिए
The question is that the clauses 2 to 4 stand out of the bill. There is one amendment in clause 3 by Ms. Kartika. Ms. Kartika, are you moving this?
Honorable Speaker, in view of the reply given by the Honorable Minister, I am not pressing my amendment. Thank you.
The question is that the clauses 2 to 4 stand out of the bill. Those who favor the bill may say aye. Aye. And those against may say no. No. I think that the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Minister of Law, please.
महोदया, मैं इस विधेयक को पारित करने के लिए आपके समय समर्पित करती हूँ।
Motion moved